Let's go. We're in silver. I'm going to put it in the higher time frame because silver is dropped. We close our sells and we're looking for a buy, but as you can see, the buy is not there as yet. There's a short sell today this morning. If anybody took the trade, we looked at it in the Asian session. If anybody took the trade, you want to get it to break even or probably even take profit, because at this point, we're going to look at this two ways. One is that this is the correction. It's finished and we're trying to go down, which means we will end up going lower. Or we could end up going back as a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, go back here for a 1, 2, 3. I think we could end up back at the top here and go. So we would still check here today to see whether we're going to get any sell setup or buy setup. I think the sell setup would be very short term. The buy setup will be longer term. So on the 1 hour, we had this very sharp move up yesterday, right? We were waiting to see whether we'll get a flag here for a buy. That didn't happen. Instead, they made a flag for a sell. They went up back, but we didn't break the top. So that leaves us open for a possible running flat pattern here. I think you can see this. With this in this one, I think all of you know what I'm talking about. We were expecting this to come here and then down. So we might even get a buy setup here. We can take the trade short term, but then that would be a running flat for possible downside, at least one more down. If we get that running flat, we will sell. We'll look for a sell setup. So first, we might eventually get a buy setup and then a run. It's probably not a running flat, and it could be an expanding flat. So we'll take the buy and if we get a buy setup, we'll take it for a possible running or expanding flat. This trade is finished, so I'm going to take that out from there and put it here. Which means if we see an up move and a flag, we will trade to this level. If it consolidates, we will consider a sell. This could become a long drawn out running flat. That means we'll consider sells. You can go in the sell now. If you're already in the sell, good. You put that to break even. If you're not in the sell, we don't have any setup to go with right now. Gold, yesterday we looked at it. Some of you took the buy. You got out of it because this morning there was a sell setup. We saw this sell setup, and I warned that it may or may not break this low because it depends on how complex that pattern is. If you took that, you may want to take the profit out of it or move your stop very tight, because this could be a complete flat pattern as a contracting flat, and we are going down. The problem is I really don't like this smaller flat in here. This is my problem inside of this. So when I see that, I tend to think, well, what if we're making a more complex pattern here? What if we make something more complex? 1, 2, 3, come back down, go back up, and then fall. What if we get this pattern? And that would mean downside, because that would be a flat pattern for downside. So anything I'm looking at here is not a reversal so much. We will only look for a reversal if we break the low. If we break the low and start to come back up, then we will assume that they're probably going to go back for a bigger move to the upside. If not, it's a continuation to the downside. So we would have two options open to us if it continues to go down. The first option is that this is a contracting flat. I think I explained that yesterday already, that this here is a contracting flat. And this is just going down with a number of waves in it, right? Drop here, make another dip and drop like that. So we can sell here. That is why the sell this morning was a good one. If that is not the case, then we are still within the correction, and this is a contracting flat. Right? This here is a contracting flat. And that means we can go back up to the top. Right now, we're working with that option. That option is not negated until we break this low. When we break that low, we will see whether we're totally going down or whether that's a running flat in play. As the structure is changed, as the patterns are, as you get more information, you might get a different pattern coming up. One does not negate the other. So, it's still a correction until we actually get an impulse. And as far as our rule is concerned, we're still in the correction. So that means that this could go back up to the top. We're aware of that. We will look at every trade. If you take a sell, you'll move your stops because you're aware of that. I think this will give us a bigger correction, because this first move is sharp. This one is either a contracting flat or we'll end up in a much more complex corrective structure. Come back here, I think, go back down, go there, and then actually drop. If this starts to happen, we know of that possibility. So if that happens, the trade becomes very easy for us to trade. We would understand it. If that doesn't happen and they make another flag, we sell again. Just like they made the flag this morning, we sold it. You have a flag, you sell it. That's a sell setup. You can look for the downside. So I don't know if we put it in the log, if we logged that down this morning in the trading room, but I mentioned it, that's a good sell setup, at least back to the low. But the traders who will earn in room, if they took it, put that to, put it to break even or take your profit. That's the two options you have. Dollar index still going up. We got an expanding flat. I think all of you figured that out. We got an expanding flat here, and we are going up. Every flag you buy, we will take the trades every flag, because this could be much more to the upside, right? We would assume that this is the end of that structure and we're making a daily correction. Daily correction means we can go quite high, and that means we're in a sell on the euro, which is what we did yesterday. That trade is already at break even and you can't lose on it. We're targeting the 618. So if we get another flag, we'll sell again today. So yesterday we got a sell setup in the euro. We took the trade down to the bottom. Some of you were looking at this pattern. We got the trade. I called that trade in the webinar, I think yesterday, for a sell. That is a break even. We're targeting this level. Let's hope we get that level. So go back to the 1 hour. That's a trade. If they make another flag here, we sell again. Every flag we get, we'll sell until it goes on. This is definitely a flag in the making. That's not a reversal sign as yet. We don't have a sharp impulse reversing another impulse. So I think that would continue to go somewhere. Pong actually did a very strong move up yesterday while we were here. And the sell, there was a short sell, then there was a strong move up, and we thought that this might be the start of an up move to come back to this top. So we were waiting for a flag to buy. We didn't get a flag. They dropped lower. They made a flag here. I think we're going to get one more move now. At least one more move. This is the trade setup we are looking at in our trading room. By now, if this stays like that, we will close the trade. Right? By rule, if it stays like that, we close the trade. So this trade is going to be closed, because when we took it, we had one sharp candle coming down. When we put the entry order on, we had one sharp candle in the second one. So once they stay like that, it means you might get a bigger correction. I take this off. What that means is that they might still be in the consolidation here, go back there, and then drop. If we get this, we will still sell. Right? So if we get a bigger flat, we'll still sell. But as it's going right now, the sell is no longer valid. We cancel that trade. It didn't even trigger. We just canceled the entry. We're looking for this to go back up and then come down, because the way it's going is already telling us there's no momentum in the trade. But we might get one more down, and then we're still going to be looking for the upside. Right? Once we finish one more down, we'll still be looking for either a deeper correction or maybe totally for the upside. I don't think we're going to get the upside totally. We'll just get a deeper correction and then go. Aussie dropped lower. There was a sell setup there this morning. I don't think anybody got it unless you were there and you had an entry order. Then it's a trade. Aussie eventually will go back up. It's just making a deeper correction. This is a daily correction. This is the biggest correction in the Aussie daily structure. So I don't think we're going to go up. I think we're going to be stuck here for a while, because this is starting a daily correction. See, we're breaking out of the structure here, see? Totally breaking up. So some of you can use your filters and you will know why I'm talking about. If you're in my group and you understand, remember this is actually going public. So not much details I can give here. We get in the trading room and we'll have, so we have finished that first impulse and we're making a correction. And that means we will be stuck in here for a while, for a very long time. That is your first impulse up. And when you get an impulse like that, you tend to get a correction like this. See that? You get a correction like this. I think we'll be in a deep correction here now before we go back up. So we will be in this correction for a couple months. If you go back and you look at this one, how long did this correction take? Let's take this one. How long did that take? That took just about 182 days, which is about 6 months. So we will be stuck in a sideways here for a while. We're now making the first impulse to the downside. This will become the first wave of that structure to the downside. We'll have a correction, we'll have another one, and then we'll go. So every sell setup we get now is going to be valid, because how far this can come, well, we don't know, but it will go back all the way to about the 5th to 618 fib, which means it can go back really, really deep. All sell setups we get will take. I don't think they're going to go back and make a new high. It could still make one more high, but because it's already breaking out of the structure, that is unlikely going to happen. So we'll look for all sell setups. I think they'll correct, they'll drop, they'll correct, they'll drop. If every flag we get, we'll sell. So if we get another flag here or a deeper correction, we'll look for a sell setup. A deeper correction like this, we'll go with the buys. I don't think we'll get a deep one like that. We might get a small flag and then downside. New Zealand, this one is likely going to make a new high before it goes down, because this is still a flat and it's now an expanding flat. We broke the low, no problem. They dropped beyond the low. That was a good sell if you took the sell. This one we sold yesterday, but we closed it for break-in because it didn't go. They make a sharp spike. We're waiting for a flag, no flag, drop lower. Second sharp spike, no flag, drop lower. Those two sharp spikes could be a running flat. I think we were assuming that this morning, that this could be a running flat with a correction here, and then we will expect this to drop and then go back up. This is the likely buy. If this goes up as an impulse, Aussie will go up as a correction. So if we're looking for a buy setup, we'll go with the buyer in New Zealand and we'll take the Aussie, just leave the Aussie, let it go up. If it's a downside, you probably want to sell the Aussie and leave this one alone. Hopefully that is how we expect them to move. So I would let this retest the low, then we'll look for a buy setup. Big picture, this is showing you buy setup. See? It is not changing. I don't think we're dropping from that as the top. And that is because we've got a flat here that needs to finish. When they break the top, if they just go and break the top like that, then we can expect them to start to come down for a bigger correction. Right? But first we'll break that top. So there's an up move here to get. Don't miss it. Right? There's an up move to get. Don't miss it. Aussie, New Zealand. Actually, we were looking to see whether we'll break out of this structure, and we dropped lower. No problem. This is a flat. And they just give you one lower. So where are we? We're still in this structure for upside. That has not changed. I think we might be looking at another running flat possibility here. I think you can see the possibility for another running flat here. Come back here and then drop. Just like this one. Remember when we had this flat here and we didn't go anywhere? We have a repeat of that. So I think we're going to have one more correction up, which is a sharp move up and then downside. Let's see if we get it. I don't know if we're going to get that or if they're just going to continue to go down. But that possibility exists. We don't have to trade this. We can leave it alone. Yen, we're in the buy, and that is positive, and we are still in that trade. And I think we will keep this trade because the possibility is it can go very, very high. So we got the buy yesterday in the yen, and the trading, those who were in the trading room got in an early buy. Those who weren't in the trading room got in and buy at that level and the breakout. We got in and buy somewhere here. Of course, I wouldn't be talking about that in details here because this is for the general public. And that is something we did in the trading room, looking at the pattern and deciding where to enter. So we got in much earlier. I'm in the trade and I'm still in the trade. And I think a lot of us still in the trade. They made corrections. They go, they make corrections to go. The only time I'll close is if we start to see an hourly flag. Right? If this starts to become an hourly flag for downside. So if we drop some more and we start to do this, yep, we'll close the trade. But I think they're going to make small flags go, small flags go. I mean, yen does that a lot. You can see it. You can go back and look at how the yen moves. Small flags go, small flags go, small flags go. They do. That's pretty normal. So the same thing you should get on the upside. We're making a small flag and then we'll continue to go. We'll look for more buy setups. Swiss is a little strange because we were expecting one more down and now we broke the top. That means we will probably go with this as the end of the structure. That is a flat. The only thing is this has a big flat inside. We got to move up. We got a sharp move and we're here. So I think by now all of you realize we are looking for a possible running flat. And then upside. And then upside. Here is the one thing we have to watch. Because we never broke this low. That's the sharp wave impulse down, right? So how far would this go before we get the correction down? It could still go more and we'll get a very long, drawn out running flat. So what we look for here, every flag we get, we'll take the trade and we'll take it with caution. So if we get a flag here, once we broke the top, we'll take the trade, we'll put it to break even, and then move stops into profit. Because any one of this could start the downside. You get another one, you go, you come down. You get another one, you go, you come down. So any one of those could start the downside, including the fact that this could be a much long drawn out running flat. So if you've been following me for a while, you understand what I mean by the long drawn out running flat. If you're new to my channel, you're seeing this for the first time, go look at some of the other videos I did on wave analysis and what is it and how it helps you and how to look at it. And that should help you understand what I'm saying there. USD Cad, okay, it looks like either we're going to come down, one more down. We're looking at two possibilities. This is a running flat. We get one more down and then go up. Or this is a channel. This is not a running flat. This is a complete correction of its own. This is a channel down, and we're totally going up now. So today we will know that. So today we will either get a sell or a buy setup here. Right now it's looking like a sell setup at the moment. It's looking like a sell setup. We didn't break the top. This was the top yesterday. We drop, we go there, we come here. So if we see this becoming more of a flat looking structure, there's a good chance we can go for the downside. The best way to trade it is let it drop, let it make a flag, and then start to sell. Right? Because if we drop and we make the flag, we have confirmation of one more impulse to the downside. For the buy, if it stays within this range, which means if they come back down here, go back up there, come back here, don't make a flag, and decide to go up, we're going to buy. That becomes a flat for upside. Right? So once they come down, we'll wait for the flag and then sell. If they go back up and break out, we buy. Aussie yen. We should get one up. We have this and we have that, so we should be looking for one up. Let's see if we get it. So far, nothing. We want an impulse, we want a correction, and then we'll take the trade. Aussie Swiss. They did what we expected to do, this drop here, and now we see if they give us the one more up, right? We dropped there, and we got this, so this should go up. Is it going to be because of the Swiss, or is it going to be because of Aussie? We don't know. Well, we'll keep an eye on that trade for the upside. I don't think that is going to drop through. The only time I'm really selling this now is if they drop through this pattern and then make a flag here. This is a sell, or correction, not even a flag. That becomes a sell setup. Usd Cad. We're anticipating that we could get one more up from here. Take this off and take this off. If we're still looking at this as the correction, 1, 2, 3, look for one more up here, and then we look for the downside. Right, that completes this flat, completes this one, and then up. So there's a buy setup we'll be looking for today. We'll watch the Aussie very carefully. All the Aussie pairs are showing us a buy setup, right? So there's a buy setup here. Do we have anything to go with it? Not as yet, not starting. We want an impulse, we want a flag, then we'll buy. We don't have anything. This probably should show buy setup too. Yeah, probably. Euro Oz. So let's see what we have here. Nothing much. It's just going up, and I think we might go up some more. There's a possibility we'll go up some more. Then we'll probably look at this as the bigger correction, bigger flat in the middle. Yes, this might end up being a bigger flat in the middle there. See that? 1, 2, 3. So I can see the possibility of this coming back here, and then coming down like this, and then going back up there, and then drop. Right? So what we look for here now is buy setups. Do we have a buy setup? We had one that is gone. We have to wait for another one. Wait for a correction or a flag, and then we look for a buy setup. Euro New Zealand. We got ourselves an expanding flat here, I think, very clearly. This was during the news this morning. We got an expanding flat. We can wait for a buy to the upside. You'll see that in the 15th clear, right? So we've got to move down, got to move up, move down. I think we're going to look for a bigger correction. That could go for an expanding flat, or we're now making a running flat. We're now making another flat. Let's assume this was a correction. Then this is making its own flat here. Go back there, come back here, and then go. So one out of those two possibilities will work out, and both of them are for the upside eventually. Euro Cad. Yep, this one is a bit difficult, depending on how you look at it. So let's see in the 4 hour. Let's take this out. Or let's assume this here is the entire pattern. This could be downside. We're breaking out of this, right? And that means we can look for downside. If we get a consolidation here, we'll look for sells. We need a consolidation here, not a flag, not a flag, a consolidation, and we can look for sells. Excuse me. Euro yen. I think we'll get one more down. We haven't got anything here. This piece is looking like it will have to do this. Come back here, tag the low, and then go back up. So we're probably not going to get a trade here today. Euro Swiss. Okay, they never tagged this trade. They didn't drop. They're going sideways. It's still going to drop, but it's not a flag anymore. See, take this off. We will wait for a flag here, and then we'll sell it. So we're still looking for a sell setup here, but this is the correction now. We'll wait for the correction to break out, give us a flag, and then we'll get trade. We'll try to get it from the top because this is going to go up a little more. I can see that upside, and I can see a wanted downside. We'll see how it goes. This is a nice trade. The setup is great for the sell. Euro pound, we don't have a sell setup as yet. We're still going up. I think we might get one more up. We might get one more up here. And then we'd look for that sell setup, right? So there's a buy setup here this morning, a very short trade. It's a very short-term trade, which means it's a fast buy. You have to buy and take your profit out if you get the trade, and then look for the sell. The sell is the safer trade. Pound yen, one more down. I can see this here making one more down and then the up trade. So there's a sell setup here, and then we should be heading to the upside. Pound Oz. Okay, so the question is whether we have a complete pattern here. We have 1, 2, 3 down. We have 1, 2, 3 up. And then we have 1, 2, 3 down, and then we'll go. So the question would be, can we look at this last piece here, this piece, as an equivalent of this? I don't think so. It might be possible, but I don't think so. I think we want them to come back down here. We want this to come back down somewhere here. And then we buy it. See? We buy it for one more impulse up. If we don't get the downside, but instead we get a flag here, if instead of the downside we get a flag here, we'll buy the flag. But if it comes down, that would make the pattern, more complete. It will not be a contracting flag for sure. Euro Cad. Okay, we might be getting a sell setup here, but a very short-term sell setup. Right? See this? It's going sideways here. Take that out. It's going up now. We expect this to go back up some more. We're going back. Let me just show you that in the 1 hour we're expecting. I'm expecting this to go back, break out of this, go back up there, and then we're looking for a sell, and then we look for the buy. So this is a good trade we can take. That might be all we get today, and then we'll be looking for the upside. Pound Swiss, some a little more downside, and then the upside. Pound Yen. Yeah, we could see this breaking down somewhat. One more sell, and then we're looking for upside. New Zealand yen, let's see what we have here. We sold this, we closed the trade yesterday. I think all of you saw that. We closed the trade. It's kind of going sideways here now, so I think we will probably wait for this. Take this off. Probably wait for this. It looks like a running flat here, this piece. So let them make one more low. I think you got a low to come here, and then we'll be looking for the upside. I'm not very keen on that sell unless we get a flag that gives a good risk to reward. But once they break that, we can expect them to come here, and then we'll expect this to go down back like that, right? Like this one. So let's see. This looks like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you get. This is a big flat here, so I think this is going to be more like a 1, 2, 3 here. 1, 2, 3 here, 1, 2, 3 there, and then 1, 2, 3 here, and then go back up. So let's see. We'll just have to wait and see for that, right? New Zealand Swiss. There's a short trade to the downside. We'll get some consolidation here, and then we should get a trade to drop to this level, and then we're looking for upside. See? So if we get this flag here complete itself, we look for a sell setup. New Zealand Cad. Pretty similar setup. This could be a running flat. And we look for one more. If we consolidate here, we sell it. But we're looking for the buy. Cad Swiss. Stay away from that. It's making a big consolidation here for downside, but I think we stay away from it for now. Yep, looks very nice as a running flat for downside. Canadian went down nicely. So the question is what's next? Because we were expecting this to go down as a very big move. And is this the start of it? I don't think that's the start of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go back up and come down. But what we would do is every flag we get, we'll sell. Every flag, every correction we get, we'll look for sell setups. Short term, I think this could be an upside. This little piece, see that? And then drop. Mexican is still going, wait for flags, buy. And the same thing would be for the ZAR. Buy it, you're getting a correction here. It's very small, but it's a correction. See, they pull here, they go there, they pull back here, and then they go. Let's see if we get a flag here and we get that trade up. Canadian, nothing to do here. It has to break the top, but we don't have any structure say it's going to break the top. We don't have a sell setup either. Sorry, US oil. There might be a sell setup on this. We could get a sell setup, but it's pretty slow. So I think we might either get a bigger correction or we go up. We don't have any trade setup, not for the buy, not for the sell. When we get the setup, we'll take the trade, but we don't have the setup. US oil, downside. I think it's the more downside. Natural gas, downside. Back to break this low. US 30, we had US 30 to the trade, and we bought it yesterday, right? So some of our traders were taking this trade, so I just looked at it. It was nice. It's a buy. You could get a buy and a flag here as well today, and we were expecting it to make one more up move because we were looking at this as a running flat. We see this as a running flat here for one more up. Like that. One more up and then we'll see what happens. S&P 500, same thing. Expecting one more up and then we'll see what happens there. And DAX. DAX starting to look like upside as well. Because this looks like a running flat, right? So if we get a buy setup, we'll look for the trade. Nothing here. It's still sell, nothing much. This one is still sell, nothing much. This one might be a buy. We had the buy there yesterday. We were looking for the trade. I don't know if any of my traders took it because I don't trade this. But you got a buy there, so if they take the trade, good for you. Nifty, sell setup, you're consolidating, you'll get more sells. This is dropping. Look for sell setups. They're consolidating, so that is more sell setups here. I think all of them are the same thing. This one is also, you're getting this trade down, so very soon this should be up. See that? Very soon we should get that to the upside. Bitcoin, you're getting a sell setup. Perfect sell setup there. You can't ask for better. That's a good sell setup. Go for this trade. One more to break the low, and then the upside you can look for. One more, we break the low. This is a very good sell setup, by the way. If you trade crypto, this is a very good sell setup. You're getting another one here. This one is even better. because you had a flat here and now you're getting a flag here. This one is not the best one. This will probably consolidate more, but then it will get a drop. So you can see that this probably go back there and then come down. Because you got a sharp move. You're getting a 1, 2, 3, go back there and then come down. And LTC. It's correcting. It's going to go down, but it's correcting. Right? So they're correcting up for one more drop. That could be it. Right? And I think that's about it. I've covered everything, right? It was fast because it's pretty much what we did yesterday. You don't need to elaborate. Most of the patterns are either having a flag or don't have it. We'll get in the trading room and we'll take trades and manage it. For those of you who are watching my videos for the first time, please keep looking at the other videos on the YouTube. You'll probably see what we do. If you don't understand, if you understand the concept, welcome to use it as if it helps you, right? Again, I promise you guys I'm going to do a video on our group because the group is getting amazing and we've added some new things that we're doing to our group, and it's pretty much working perfect for traders who are struggling, right? A lot of traders who are now watching it wants to understand what our group looks like. Maybe today I'll get around to doing it, but pretty busy in the trading room with the guys. But if I do have the chance, I'll make a short video and then we'll put it out. So share it. All of you who are watching this video, please share it. If there are about 1,000 plus views on the first one, just share it. If the 1,000 people share it to one more person, that would be great. Right? There are 23,000 subscribers. I have no idea where they are. Right? They're supposed to be watching the videos, but we don't know. I know there are about a couple hundred subscribers that was removed when Facebook was cleaning up their act. They were getting rid of duplicates and all of that. Not Facebook, sorry, YouTube was doing that. YouTube was cleaning up their act and they got rid of a lot of these trolling kind of elements because those were not real accounts and they got rid of them, which is good. Less headache. So let's go to the trading room. Yen is coming up back and we will look for that trade. It's going up. If we get a second or third trade onto it, we'll take that. All right, it's going up, so we'll look for a trade setup. Look for the buy. We'll buy every flag on this thing as it keeps going up. So take care, trade with care. I'll see all my traders in the trading. I was there this morning. I'll be there again today, as like we were yesterday. We were there pretty often. Today we have a lot of news. We have some news events, so we'll be there to manage our trades. See you around, now is 9:30. See you around 10:30. In an hour, I'll see you in the trading room. Get there. Take care, trade with care. See all of you there. Bye-bye.